Okay, so I don't really have much in the way of a upload schedule, but at least at time of recording this, it is currently sort of award season, which I've always kind of liked. It feels like an embarrassing thing to like, but I've always kind of liked it. And the thing about it in The Sims is like they have the Starlight Accolades, and I've always hated it, specifically because of this lot right here. I hate this Studio PBP lot. I think it's terrible. People always comment on this build over here, the museum, and I get why. It's very shape. But this one makes me so sad. Like, look at this area for the Starlight Accolades. It's so sad and so tiny. It's got it's got 6 chairs here. It's so small, and it's just there. You know what I mean? And it just makes me sad because I love the idea of the Starlight Accolades. To me, for the Get Famous pack, should be like the culmination, you know what I mean, of their whole career. And it's just so underwhelming. And without mods, I can't really fix that gameplay-wise, but I at least feel like this build should be better. And so I had decided, you know, I want to build one of those like old-fashioned, really ornate, beautiful theaters. If you've ever been to like a theater like that where it's got that beautiful like molding on the ceiling and the walls, and got the columns and everything, and the mezzanine is just the old theaters are so beautiful to me. And so I wanted to try to build that here for the Starlight Accolades. But then I was like, okay, well, it's a lounge lot, so we also need a bar. So I'll also put in, you know, a lounge area for the celebrity Sims to hang out at, and I'll make that really fancy and really just sort of almost too rich, just like too fancy. But then I kept thinking about it, and I really like for builds to be sort of multi-purpose, as in like you can go there for multiple different Sims for different storylines, and you can't, because going into here it will have the fame restriction here. I want to make sure that you can have regular non-famous Sims come here for some purpose as just like fans. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and build like just a little movie theater and pretend like that's where you can come for little premieres for movies that the Sims are in before you go to the Starlight Accolades. And this is just a problem that I have all the time of I start with a decent idea, and then I get way too overzealous and the build gets so big and so much. This is frankly absurd. Here's the thing, is because I want a fancy theater, right? And so I was like, oh, we gotta put in an orchestra pit. And then if there's gonna be a basin already, I should have a fancy dressing room for like the old, and I wanted to put in a bunch of lore. And so I've made this whole storyline about how there used to be an old opera singer here, like, 200 years ago when this was first built, and this like prima donna who died on stage, and I put so much lore into this build. It is absurd. I've made a mistake. I have made a mistake, but I do love how it turned out. I made the outside look like, I modeled it after the Grauman's Chinese theater. If you've ever heard of it, it's this really, really beautiful, really famous movie theater in LA. And it's a really common place to have movie premieres. It's like very sort of historic. I actually had done a lot of work on this build right after the Decor to the Max kit came out. This is one of those builds I kept coming back to over time and trying to finish it and make it good. I finally finished it because I was excited that it was in real life award season. And so I used a lot of things from that. It really matches the aesthetic, I think. And the point is, I ended up just doing way too much with this, and I have a problem. Let me just get to the Speedbuild. You'll see exactly what I mean once this is done. do you see what I mean? This build ended up so big and so much. I kind of love builds like this. I know maybe it's not good for the game, but I don't care. I like it. Yeah, so up here, there's obviously the main sort of theater area with this big lobby here, fancy bathrooms. I just really think like the chandelier here is so cool, and I really like this theater like this. This is probably way too much. It's a lot, I get it. So then over here there is the lounge area for your celebrity sims. I have like a even more secret area here. I like the idea of like hierarchy within this weird celebrity sim world of like, well, you have to be a little bit famous. I personally have the main door here set to just 1-star celebrities so that most people can get in. I've had before, while playing a sim who was nominated for a Starlight Accolade and then couldn't get in because she only had 2 stars she was a 2-star celebrity, and I think that's very silly. So I have it set to 1 star here and then 2 stars to get into this lounge area. And then over here we also have like a super secret club within that you can only get into if you're part of the club. I just think the club system really does make this game so much more fun. You can do so much creative stuff with it. And I think it's perfect for this here. You've got these little, I put in I put in a few pictures here and there just to put like lore. I love cramming lore in here. And I have so yeah, there's some pictures throughout the build. And then of course out front, I made a bunch of these Celebrity Walk of Fame stars for Sims in my save file, and just jam-packed a bunch of little tidbits in here, which I think is so fun. I think it's like, this is the most fun you can have in this game, for me at least. It really, you cannot beat this. Yeah, but so over here is that. Then of course there is the main little, or rather not the main, but the little movie theater for sort of the plebes. I wanted to make the entrance be over here so it felt like it was a little bit, almost like it's a different building, but just sort of in the area. This is where, you know, the regular people can come to see the premieres for movies, because I didn't want to have the main theater over here have an actual TV in it. That would have ruined it for me personally. Another thing you want to do, in addition to adjusting the 2 celebrity fame requirement doors, you'll also want to come over here. When you first download it, this green screen will just be green. You'll want to set this to something. I personally have it set to the Victorian rainy nighttime set. I think that's the prettiest one. So that's what I have it set to there. But yeah, this is the main theater here, the box seats, mezzanine. Now, when you're actually playing this, do all of the celebrities come in and sit on the floor on their knees? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They're Sims. That's exactly what they do. That's correct. They don't like these fancy chairs I made for them. No, sitting on the floor. It's not even about being in the same room as the stage. They're over here just kneeling in their fancy little dresses and suits. I do love the Sims sometimes. It's, you know, autonomy is what it is. Then I've got just a little backstage area here. And then I feel like this really got crazy once I started beefing at the basement, because I kept having other ideas. It started off just as like a way to get to the orchestra pit, which again, I have like clubs set up to have musician Sims who come down to play instruments. So this is too much. This build is too much. But yeah, then I made this beautiful fancy sort of entryway here. I put in paintings. I have a Sim who's like a famous painter from like the 1800s. Painted this like ballerina with the I call him the maestro. He has one of the Celebrity Star Walk of Fame things out front. And over here, this one, this build, I did too much with it, and I know that. Yeah, for this, I basically wanted there to be this whole like spooky Phantom of the Opera-esque story here. And so I have buried some lore here. You can like check it out. If there's some of it just in this build here, but someday I will have the actual save file. You can go through and sort of explore things like that yourself. But the point is that there's this painting that captured the moment that this very famous at the time like prima donna opera singer died on stage because the chandelier crashed. It's this whole thing, and so I actually had to go in with tool mod and have like this big chandelier look like it was crashing there. I had to set up fire, and then I had her here passed out, and of course once the painter Isaiah Stone, once he painted that thing that I made Sims actually do so he could capture it, it of course lost all of like the res on it. So you can barely even see what's happening, but I know what's happening, and it's cool. But yeah, so it started off just this and the orchestra pit, and then I was like, well, it'd be cool to have like the fancy like dressing rooms and all that, and especially like a wing for that famous prima donna back in the day, like a prima donna suite that she demanded. And so I kept weaving it out as this here. The bathrooms here, of course you need bathrooms and showers and a way to get up to the stage, which does kind of, now I guess normal Sims can just get to that stage through here, but listen, it's the Sims, we do what we can. I could have locked this off by clubs, I guess, if that's something you want to do, you can, but I don't have it set up that way in my save file. If normal Sims want to sneak in, I think they should get to. I think that's fun. But I kept wanting to add things, and so I was like, well, let's add a little like music practice room. So it's like you can pretend your Sims come here for like lessons and learning how to play instruments and things. And then I was like, well, let's also have a dance studio, which your Sims can't really take dance lessons. So I really don't even know what I was trying to do with this. But I do think they came out how I envisioned them, which is sometimes hard to do when you're building in The Sims. And then there's a secret little extra room there. I wanted there to be a secret room because it's all like, ooh, the spooky backstory vibes, and I did way too much. Like I said, it's too much. It's too much, which is exactly how I want my Sims game to be. I hope you guys like this. I hope you enjoyed this build. If you down with it, let me know if it crashes your game. I sure hope it doesn't. But thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.